Hey Hogs, this is our blocking video for the week against Jefferson. They run a 4-3, just like what we saw against Matamidai. So that's good for us. Now we're going to see it back to back. We should already have some familiarity of how to block it and be able to correct the mistakes that we made against Matamidai and hopefully run it better against Bloomington. So we'll start off going inside to out, talking about our rules. So we'll start with trap. So if we were running trapped, remember there's a 3-5 side and a 1-5 side here. So if we ran it to the 3-5 side, we should be making a 3-3 or saying this guy's number, and our tackle is ripping to backer. If this end wants to cross his face, he'll take him wherever he wants to go. This guard, his rule is gap double the backer. So he's just checking his gap and then going to backer. The center, his rule is gap on backer. There's a guy in his gap. He's blocking, kicking out a 2 or a wider. Backside tackle is wheeling and sealing. Once again, this week I would like to check to the 3 technique for trap. So be prepared for trap check. If we just run trap, be prepared for that this week. H, I'd like us to seal this end if we can. Y, we got touchdown block. X, rip inside, touchdown block. Okay. Z, whatever Coop tells you to do. I don't know the specifics on when you're in bunch here. But that's what we're doing for trap. And then to the 1-5 side, we should be ripping to backer. Okay, here we could have a double. This could be a cage call to that backer. Okay, right there. You guys are comboing to that linebacker wherever he goes. Or it could just be a gap call where the guard blocks down and the linebacker heads up or the center heads up to the linebacker. Then backside. I'm sorry. Let me take all that back. Let me start over. 1-5 side, going to linebacker, blocking the 1. We will make a cat call again this week. Automatic cat call. So we'll block the 3. Tackle will help and then go back and block the 5. So I'm sorry about that. I screwed up. I didn't even look at the backside yet. So we'll have a 3 on the backside. The guard will have the 1 by himself. The center needs to make sure he's yelling cat, cat. So the guard knows he's got that guy by himself. Okay. And then we block back. H, sealing inside, touchdown block. Probably the same thing for the Z. Okay. Next, let's talk about power. We kick a 6 or a wider. So if this guy's head up or outside. So here, our X or a Y, this will most likely be our Y. Let's just pretend this is our Y here. Our tackle is blocking down. His rule is gap on double. He's got his gap, so he's blocking down. He's going to be doubling with the guard here. This would be a tag call, working to the first backer inside. Our Y is blocking down on the 5. H is kicking out the 6. And then our center's blocking back on the 1. Guard is tight, skip pulling up through the hole for the play side linebacker. Wheeling and sealing on the backside. Okay, touchdown block on the backside here. Okay, so that's power. To the 3-5 side. Now let's say if we do end up getting a 1-5 here, let's just do it to this side. Okay, so we would have a TED double team to FBI. Okay, we would be kicking out the first guy outside. 6 or wider. We'd down the 1. We'd make a cat call. Down the 3. Pull up and through the hole. Looking inside. Doing our helping out with the 3 and then stepping back for the 5. Okay. That would be power to a 1-5 side if we got that look. Now let's say if we run counter to the 1-5 side, it's the same deal. Okay. We would have a TED going there. Now tackles, here's the thing. If this guy's like way out here in a 6, if he's not covering any part of you, then it's a gap call. The Y will block down, and then you are going straight to backer. This guy has to be tight on you, covering you for it to be a TED call. If he's not covering any part of your body, then we're just going down, 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 just like that. Um, anyways, sorry. So this is TED to backer, blocking down, cat call, kicking out 6 or wider, leading up through the hole, tight, looking inside, wheel and seal. That's counter. Okay. Now let's talk about kick. Okay, if we're running kick to the right here, let's just do it out of round tank. Okay, so most likely, so we'll have a 5 here. We'll have a 3, a 1, a 5. This linebacker will be a 7. Okay, so here will be a tag to the FBI. Sorry, this guy will be here. Be lined up somewhat like this. So we'd have a tag to the backside backer, blocking down on the end, blocking down on the 1. Okay, up to backer. Now you got to think the play's going that way. You're pretty much scooping this backer and trying to stop him from flowing over the top if you can. If he does flow over the top, then you can just U him out. You can just block him that way. And then our 5 technique is blocking back on the end, kicking out the outside backer. Okay, running the ball right there. So that's kick. Now if we did run it out of bunch, one sec. So if we were running it against or out of our bunch look, same thing, down, tag, to backer, block back, going to backer, blocking back, kicking out. Okay, so that's kick. And then talk about truck. Okay, here, blocking down, kicking out the corner, looking back inside for a linebacker, reaching the 3, running for rip the cutoff, reaching the 1, rip the cutoff for the backside backer. Got to make sure we do that on the backside for this tackle. Okay. Now let's say if we motion here. Okay. If we trip it, now we're running truck to the left, down, pull around looking inside. Okay. Our guard can also pull around looking inside, reach the 1, rip the cutoff, reach the 3. Okay. Touchdown block, touchdown block. And that's truck to the 1-5 side. Okay. Now what's new is boot. We're changing boot back to look like power since we're not running G anymore. So we want it to look like power. So let's say if we're running boot to the right here, everyone on the front side, it's just like power. Everything is just like power besides what the backside guard does. Okay, so we're going to block down. Okay, here we're going to have our tag double team, but not working up to the backer. We're both kind of just sitting here pass protecting this guy, not letting him flow over the top. Okay. Center's blocking back. Guard, now what you're going to do on boot is that you're going to get deep and you're going to log the first guy outside the tackle. In this case, it's the 5 technique. You're going to try to log him. If it's pass, you're going to come and try to kick him out like you would on counter. Okay, so boot, get deep and log him. If it's pass, you're going to kick him out. Okay, trying to make it look like power. And the backside tackle, obviously, you wheel and seal. Okay, let's say if we ran boot to the left here, tackle, you're going to rip and step inside hard, looking for a linebacker that may be coming to the B gap. You're blocking the B gap. Guard's blocking the A gap. Center, you got your cat call. You're going all the way back here. Wheeling and sealing, the only difference now is this guard is getting depth and is logging the end. Okay. Now if we run pass, everything's the same. B gap, A gap, cat call. Now we're kicking out. Sorry. Now we're kicking out on pass and we're catting on the backside here. Okay. So that's the only difference now with boot. Boot looks like power. Besides the backside guard is either logging on boot or kicking out on pass. That's the only difference. Everyone else is running power up front, but you can't get downfield. Okay. If you have an open gap, you're either going to double team or just step to your gap and look for a linebacker trying to come through, right? Trying to trigger. So that's boot. Pass protection is the same thing we did last week. So 3-5 side, if they have an outside backer on, they also do a look where they would bring both backers out on the edge, just like Matamidi did. So if we have pass protection, we will off call it to the 3-5. We will fan it to the 1-5, and we'll be good to go. Okay. Same pass protection we did before. Okay, block the 3, block the 5. The center is responsible for the 1. The guard is helping, looking for this linebacker. Okay. The 1 technique is the center's responsibility. Okay. Because this linebacker, the A backer is responsible for him. Okay. Now, obviously, if this linebacker is up on the line of scrimmage, okay, the center's going to have to take him. Guard's going to have to take the 1 technique. Okay. A screen. If we run a screen, okay, tackles are high walling, blocking 1,000, 2, 1,000, and then place side guard is going to go to the place side backer. This guy might be out here like this, so they might have a might backer. So place side guards probably going to go to place side linebacker to safety, and then center and backside guard, you guys are going to the mic, just like last week. Okay. I mean, that's really all I can think about there. Let's talk about stunts that they do. They do a stunt where they do it on both sides, where they wrap, then goes in, the tackle goes out. And then they'll do it on this side as well, where the end goes in and the tackle goes out. Okay, they do this loop here. Now, if we're pass protecting, if your guy goes inside, you got to pass him off. You got to crowd surf it and then look for a guy coming back over the top. Know that he's coming, and then we step back out to him. Okay. If your guy loops out, you know someone's coming in, so you got to step down tight and make sure this guy can't get in between you guys. Same thing here. This guard, this has got to be fast for you. Is that if you see this guy try to loop out, you got to step down hard and try to cut this end off. Tackle, you should be thinking he's not going to beat you inside anyway. So if he tries to go inside, you got to clamp down, but you got to anticipate that something is coming around. So if we need to communicate saying in and in, out, 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 or making a communication of saying we got to pass a guy off, then we can do that. Okay. Now let's say we were running power to the right here, and they do this loop. Okay. Let's say they do this loop where he goes in and he goes out. When in doubt, you got to block your gap. Okay. Just take the guy that comes to your gap. So on regular power, our X or our Y would be blocking down here. If that guy disappears, and we have this tag double team, okay, and he tries to loop around the outside, the tackle would take the end that crosses his face. Okay, the guard, when you see that guy go away, so you have that, it turns in, there's no one in your gap, there's no one on you. So then you would just go to FBI. Okay, why? If your guy disappears, you got to know that there's a guy probably coming back out, and you got to go block. You just stay on your tracks, and you're probably going to run right into that tackle. Okay. So that would be on power. If we ran truck, it's the same thing. So stay on your path here. If that guy goes inside, this guy's looping around, you're going to pick up that tackle that's looping to the outside. Okay, tackle is still doing the same thing. Here as a guard, you're probably going to reach the 3. This 5 technique crosses your face, then you got to take them, or if he comes into your gap, you got to then scoop the 5 if you see that guy looping out. Okay. Um, I'm not so much worried about the backside here if they're doing that. Okay. Um, Trying to think. Let's say if we ran like trap to the side and the guy we're kicking is trying to loop out here, um, that's fine. So we'll block here. We'll block down. If he tries to loop out, we should be ripping inside anyways. And if this guy crosses your face tackle, then you're just going to take him and keep washing him. Our guard is hopefully going to get right off your butt and still kick out the 3 technique. Okay. Um, but everyone will just stay on their path and take whoever comes to their gap. And then we should still be able to run the ball off of the kick out. Okay. But that's pretty much it.